PlayStation 3, it's been a successful console. It's had a great library of games. It's had a great run, and looks like it's going to have a couple more years of life left in it. But at the same time, the PS3, this current generation sort of coincided with a downturn in the public image of the PlayStation brand. And, compared to PS2 or PS1, where they were on top of the world, and most people really didn't have anything bad to say about PlayStation unless they just hated PlayStation, just on a partisan basis. One of the high points of this generation, by far, was definitely the Kevin Butler ads of that ad campaign. That's ended for about a year now, and Sony's gone and shot themselves in the foot by suing the actor who plays Kevin Butler. Basically, the actor who plays him, Jerry Lambert, appeared in a Bridgestone commercial, and in which promoted there was a promotion where if you buy 4 tires, you get a free Wii. And of course, it was ironic because the apparently it was Kevin Butler, but it was just the actor who played him. It wasn't playing Kevin Butler in the commercial. It wasn't like wink and nod. This is Kevin Butler. He switched sides. There wasn't anything like that going on in the commercial. And of course, when gamers noticed this, they noted the irony. It's like, oh, it's one of the, it's almost the mascot of the PS3, and this character, and now the character's in an ad in which there's a promotion involving Nintendo's Wii. And when that happened, Bridgestone reshot the commercial without Jerry Lambert in it. And one note, interesting. Well, I'll get back to that later. But basically, we now know that Sony has actually filed a lawsuit for trademark infringement against the agency which hired Jerry Lambert onto the commercial. And this is absolutely outrageous because, well, first off, the Kevin Butler ads have been over for about a year at this point. I think Sony switched PR companies or something, and they decided to just sort of let that campaign fall by the wayside. But Sony, they screwed themselves. And Jerry Lambert's never going to work for Sony again now, regardless of the outcome of this lawsuit. And the ridiculous thing is Sony's claiming that Bridgestone has stolen the character of Kevin Butler from them, that they've misappropriated our trademarked character, and they're using Kevin Butler to promote rival products. It's like Sony's basically, and that language is from the press release Sony made regarding this case and why they're suing Bridgestone and the agency that made the ad, which I think might actually be owned by Lambert himself, ironically. But the language of the press release basically says that Bridgestone has stolen the Kevin Butler trademark character from them and is misusing him to promote a competing product to PlayStation. Now, that's basically saying that Sony's trademark of the Kevin Butler character literally extends to the image and likeness and personhood of Jerry Lambert himself. And that is beyond reason, okay? That is absolutely beyond reason. That's not going to fly in court. Now, if he was in what's really good for Bridgestone is the fact that when they refilmed the commercial without Jerry Lambert, the content and message of the commercial did not change at all. It wasn't like they had Jerry Lambert in there dressed like how Kevin Butler dresses, which is pretty generic. It's just a suit. But Kevin Butler is a character. Jerry Lambert was not portraying the character from the PlayStation commercials in the Bridgestone commercial. And the thing is, I've seen Jerry Lambert in lots of other things aside from the Kevin Butler ads, and he looks a certain way, he acts and speaks a certain way. That's just Jerry Lambert. That's not a unique likeness unique to the Kevin Butler character in terms of just like him merely appearing on screen and acting. It would be one thing like if the voice actress who plays Bart Simpson used that voice for something totally unrelated to The Simpsons. They used her specific performance as Bart Simpson in another cartoon. That would be one thing, but this is just the actor, Jerry Lambert, acting in another commercial and Sony getting mad about it. So as far as trademark infringement goes, Sony doesn't have a case there. Now, in addition to that, Bridgestone released a statement, and they've basically said, what we're going to defend it, we're going to say in court, we're going to point out the fact that not only it was Jerry Lambert not playing the Kevin Butler character in our commercial, but Sony never even filed a trademark for Kevin Butler's Kevin Butler as a character. Like they apparently never even filed a registered trademark for Kevin Butler. So not only there's going to be a double whammy for Bridgestone, I think. Not only was Jerry Lambert not playing Kevin Butler, he was just in the ad as an actor, but Sony apparently never even filed a trademark for Kevin Butler in the first place. This kind of harkens back to the case of Universal versus Nintendo, where Universal sued Nintendo for making Donkey Kong, saying that Donkey Kong infringed on the trademarks and copyrights that Universal held for the film King Kong. They used the image and likeness and trademark of King Kong without Universal's permission. Well, the judge found that not only was Donkey Kong not an infringement of King Kong, it was at most a very loose parody, which is protected under trademark and copyright law. Not only that, but the judge found that Universal didn't even own the rights to King Kong, and that King Kong was already in the public domain by the time that Universal filed the lawsuit. So not only was Donkey Kong not a ripoff of King Kong, not only did Universal not own the rights to King Kong, but the judge also found that Universal knew that they didn't own the rights to King Kong, and that Universal had actually used the fact that they didn't own the rights to King Kong to win an earlier litigation case. So, in addition to that, the judge imposed penalties onto Universal for acting in bad faith. So, Sony can win, though. The way that Sony can win is if Jerry Lambert signed a specific non-competition clause for for instance. Lambert might have signed a contract with Sony that says, I will never appear in a Nintendo commercial, or I will never appear in an Xbox commercial. That they might be able to sue Lambert personally on that, but as far as the trademark thing goes, they don't have a chance. And aside from that, I'm not sure if it was a Bridgestone commercial. It wasn't a Nintendo commercial, so that might play into it. And that aside, really, this is just slamming the door shut, and Sony's slamming the door shut on what was unquestionably the high point of their public relations and public perception throughout the PlayStation 3 era. I mean, the last Sony system I owned was the PSP. I have no interest in really, their PS3 games I've played at my friend's house that I love, but I have no interest in buying a PS3. But I know that the character of Kevin Butler really endeared me to the PlayStation brand. I really enjoyed and liked that character, and that character sort of was really the main way I personally felt a connection to the PlayStation brand throughout this generation. So for Sony to slam the door shut like that, it's just really it's a shame for Sony's sake. And I think I've said enough on that, and thanks for watching.